Hey everyone, welcome back to the Parterre.
It's time for our last project, the Potager. We have been saving the Potager for the final project because we thought it would be the most fun and it really kind of rounds out the whole Parterre.
Yep, thinking back to the plan, we have our main pathway, which is so beautiful. That's that vista that you get as soon as you come into the backyard, into the garden. That vista sort of greets you and pulls you into the Parterre, all the way down to our fountain. And we've got that gorgeous circle that goes around the fountain and leads either into the Union Garden or to our secondary pathway, where now we have that gorgeous cottage garden against the wall and our rose garden. And finally, we've got the Potager.
Well, folks, we have made it to the end. This is the last project of the Parterre. How do you feel?
It's bittersweet. It's such a beautiful space, but the Potager is gonna bring it all together. So Tyler, what is a potager?
Well, I'm glad you asked. A potager is a French term that simply means ornamental kitchen garden, and that's exactly what we are planting here today. Typically, a vegetable garden is planted on a much larger scale and is meant to produce as many vegetables and as many herbs as possible, but a potager is on a much smaller scale and it's meant to be just as beautiful as it is functional. So while we will be planting some herbs today, you'll also see us pop in a few things that are just for the aesthetics. Today, we'll also be rounding out the extension of the peninsula. If you remember way back when, before there was really even a wall, we made a decision to extend the peninsula down to the patio here and take out the remaining part of that grass. So we'll be rounding that out, and that's really gonna make the potager flow into the rest of the garden and feel like it was always here.
It's gonna be so beautiful. So one of the big inspirations for this potager space was our trip to Scotland recently, and specifically our trip to Carlowrie Castle. We saw the most gorgeous potager there, and obviously this one was much larger scale. It was a castle after all. But we just loved how everything was so ornamental and interesting. They had beautiful things planted in the space. The colors were interesting. They also had some things that were planted just for cutting so that they could bring that in and make arrangements with it. And so I love that we're bringing this home and sort of putting this in this very small pocket of this garden.
Yeah, one of the things that I loved about that garden in Scotland was that there were beautiful cardoons, there were cosmos, and they were just there to add some beauty. And we were there in November, which is long past your typical vegetable production, but it was still beautiful to look at. And I really hope that we can bring some of that beauty here in our potager in our garden. One thing that we will be editing for our potager is that we don't exactly have a symmetrical space.
No.
In Scotland, there were 4 quadrants that were pretty much symmetrical in size and shape. And while they did have different plants planted in them, it made for a really pleasing look to the eye. Our space here is really wide on one side and really skinny on the other side. So again, this is our edit of the potager and we're gonna make it our own.
Yes. Now we've got these 2 beautiful spaces. How do we get started?
I know just the thing.
So this is the lattice obelisk from Walpole Outdoors, and we got it because it was the perfect size. It's about 6 feet tall, and it came in white. They also have it in a dark green that we thought was really, really beautiful, but we got it in white so that we could paint it the color of our front gate. You guys know we like everything in this garden to be super cohesive. We've got the white wall with the brick, and this is the perfect addition to the garden to have this green on this side too. And for those of you that are interested, the paint color is Summer's Day by Benjamin Moore. So this obelisk obelisk is PVC, which means it will hold up forever and ever. We're never gonna have to worry about it rotting or anything like that. But because it is PVC, I did a few things when I was prepping it so that the paint would actually stick. And the first is just lightly sanding it. I sanded it down with a really, really fine grit sandpaper, not to take anything off of it, but just to sort of rough up the surface so that the primer would have something to stick to. The next thing that you'll see me do is paint the primer onto it. So I actually just got a spray primer that is good for plastics, sprayed the entire thing, and that allowed the paint to stick right to the obelisk. Now, when I actually got to painting it, I used our handy dandy little sprayer that we've gotten off of Amazon, and it worked like a charm. I did thin out our paint just a little bit with a little bit of water from the direction of my friend at Sherwin-Williams, but once I thinned it, it sprayed so smoothly, and this really came out looking so professional and like it came from the factory, just like this.
So I think our thought is that we're gonna plant something that will climb up the obelisk in here, something like a clematis, maybe some sweet peas if we can get those to work here, but we wanna give some sort of whimsy and some extra bloom here in the potager. Already, I love the structure that the obelisk is bringing to the space, and it adds a little bit of an accessory to the space. So far, you know, the only accessory we really have in the parterre is the fountain.
Yep.
And it's really cool to have something else to add here.
Yeah, it is a little bit tall, so we're using our power planter auger to just drill 4 small holes so that we can sink those legs down into the ground a little bit more, just to take some right off the top.
There are so many things to use the power planter for. Now that the obelisk is in its home, we're gonna place all of our plants and work on the design of the potager.
So you'll notice that we are anchoring this space with boxwoods, of course, and we want to do that so that we sort of pull that interest from the middle part of the parterre over to the potager, so that that really welcomes you and really adds that weight right there. We are adding 2 cone boxwoods, which I think do add some whimsy and excitement to this space, and they also sort of cap this walkway right in the middle of the parterre that sort of enters that secondary pathway.
These cones have a little bit of a pyramidal shape right now, and as soon as we saw them, the first thing I told Brian I thought of was, in Kew Gardens, there's a really long path that is just lined with perennials on both sides. And they had these pyramidal boxwoods there. And at the time, I thought that it was kind of funky, but now, having it in our garden, I'm thinking of it as a memory. If we take a look at the original plan, the potager is right there in the sketch. And you'll notice that there are a ton of different kinds of vegetables and herbs listed. We've got onions, we've got garlic, we've got lavender. And so next up on our list is lavender. Now, if you watched our fountain episode, you will remember that we chose Hidcote lavender and we planted 6 around the base of the fountain. After doing some research and talking to some other southern gardeners, we have decided that we are going to plant phenomenal lavender here in the potager. Phenomenal lavender is a little bit more of a resilient variety, and it holds up really well to our humidity here in the south. And we have noticed that the lavender around the fountain are starting to make their exit. So we'll be changing those at a later date as well.
I actually really love the color of this phenomenal lavender. It's a little bit more silver, and I think that that really is gorgeous in this space.
Now, I'll tell you, the thing that makes me nervous is that the tag for phenomenal lavender says 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. And we do not have that much space here. But I will say that in the south, the humidity does make some perennials just be smaller in size. And so we're gonna hope that that's the case here with this lavender.
We'll be starting a lavender farm next year. So now that we've lined the edge, we are moving on to the middle. Selecting these plants was really fun. So all of the plants that we have selected here are, of course, whatever was available this time of year. We are obviously late in the season, and so we were just trying to play with whatever we had at our disposal, but we found some really fun things. And this is really all about finding plants that are gonna work well for whatever you're using them for. So herbs or vegetables or things like that for the kitchen, and anything that aesthetically adds to the look of this garden. And you'll notice that when we're placing these, we're gonna do that so that there are contrasting colors and aesthetically pleasing patterns so that when you walk through the space, you really enjoy what you're seeing.
It's all about creating those layers and seeing all the different textures next to each other to feel like you've got a cohesive space. On the left side with the obelisk, we're kind of just making a ring around the obelisk, planting in fours. And that's something for us to keep in mind in the future, is that on this side, we're gonna buy everything in fours because there are 4 sides to the obelisk. On the right side with that crawl space entrance, we are doing a little bit of a different planting here. We are laying out our herbs in vertical rows of 3s. And you'll notice that we've got 3 kinds of herbs here. 2 of them look similar, cilantro and Italian parsley, and so we've put those on the outside so that we won't get those mixed up. And in the empty spaces on both sides, we're popping in some geraniums that we grew from seed just to add a little bit of bloom and a little bit of pretty to the space.
Along the stairs, I really did want to find something that would sort of spill over the side and hide those stairs a little bit, just so they feel sunken and mysterious when you get around there to see them. There's a really big reveal. So I found these gorgeous Lady Plymouth geraniums. These are a variegated geranium, and they're already looking beautiful, and they do just the trick. I think they're so interesting and sort of make that transition from the peninsula down into the potager really, really beautiful.
Getting all of these herbs in the ground is so freaking satisfying. The potager is looking even better than I could have imagined.
This is really the cherry on top of this parterre, and I can already see it coming together. I cannot believe that when you step back, you really are gonna have this full view of the space, and it's gonna be so functional.
Just on the other side of that crawl space entrance, we have a little bit of open space before we get to our boxwood hedging. And we thought we would use this space for a little bit of a cut flower garden. So we have 4 peonies that we're going to be planting in this space, and we're just gonna let them fill in over time. And our goal here is to actually use these in arrangements and cut them and bring them inside. Now, will we be able to do that and not have them out in the garden? Only time will tell.
The plan is to put a beautiful support on each of these peonies, so that really adds to the look of this garden. And because it's a working garden, we're adding a step right to the entrance so you can step over, get your cuttings, and go make an arrangement.
Of course, peonies are an early spring flower, and so we don't have any blooms to share with you right now, but we've got 4 beautiful varieties. We are planting Summer Sunset, Shirley Temple, Bowl of Beauty, and Jan van Leeuwen. Now, the last peony that I mentioned is actually from the Netherlands, which is another one of our favorite places that we've traveled to. So it feels like another spot for us where we've got a memory here in this garden. Along with the potager, we are also filling up the peninsula extension. If you remember back during construction, we made a game time decision to take out the grass from the end of the peninsula all the way down to the patio and just incorporate it into the garden. And I've always been nervous about how the potager is gonna flow into the space, but I think we've made some really good decisions here. There is a big, beautiful rosemary that will give us that shrub vibe, but also gives us the herb vibes of the potager. Then we've also added a large boxwood right at the end of that path to kind of mirror the boxwood that is across the way. And then we filled this up with other plants that we've already had, like Jerusalem sage, there's a hydrangea in there, we've got a lemon squeeze grass, there's a hibiscus, space, and we're leaving little pockets as well to fill in this space over time.
We've also added some dahlias and valerian to this space because we want this space to include just a little bit of whimsy as we're transitioning down to the parterre. The drip is laid, the compost is done. Now, let's go take a look. Oh, look at this.
Oh my gosh.
I really do feel like this potager adds just the perfect amount of whimsy to this parterre. It really brings it up, makes it light and fun, and this obelisk really sort of adds the weight that we were wanting.
It's the perfect obelisk, and I was unsure about it at first, but since you painted it that color that matches our gate,
yeah,
it just feels like it was always meant to be in our garden.
It's so beautiful. I also really, really love that we ended up putting these boxwoods in these containers.
Yeah.
I also feel like these containers add a bit of whimsy to the space.
Yeah.
And
they're kind of elongated and tall.
yes, also our lavender. I can't believe that we have lavender to balance sort of the fountain in this space now, and I think it's going to be so beautiful next year when we get to sort of walk through the lavender here.
I'm just amazed at how it all came together, and I love this side here where we have the 3 rows of herbs. It just really does something to my brain that I like.
Yes, and now we have peonies, so that's going to be so much fun to come out and sort of cut them, add them to arrangements. I think it's going to be so fun. This is now a working garden.
I love it. And before we get too far, I mean, the extension of the peninsula is also amazing.
Yes, it really adds to the fullness of the garden. And now I also sort of feel like our patio and our dining space here feels sunken in some way. It feels like it's sort of sitting within this beautiful English garden.
My biggest concern for this area was the transition from this garden, which is like our normal perennial and shrub, over to the potager. And I feel like it just works. Like we have this big, beautiful rosemary bush here, which will come back for us here, and it'll get kind of big. And I think that is the perfect transition because it's a little bit of herb and a little bit of shrub. And it just kind of makes everything flow together.
I love it so much. All of the colors contrasting. It's just the most perfect space.
This summer has been so amazing, building the parterre and sharing it with you guys. I feel so sad that we've made it to the end.
I cannot believe that this project is over. I know there's a lot more gardening to the season left, but now we're just gonna sit back and relax and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful new space.
Don't run away too fast. We have one more episode to share with you guys here in the parterre. Next week, we're gonna walk through the project from start to finish, share our favorite spots in the garden, and some of the lessons we learned along the way.
Thanks for joining us today in the parterre.
We'll see you right back here next week for the series finale.
Next week on the series finale of the Parterre.